Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazura, and behind the camera we have Alia Arifin and also Nurul Ain Daud, but they're very shy, so it's okay. Last week on Twitter we told you guys that we're going to do a Q&A session, so since we have gathered a lot of non-Muslim viewers, a lot of you asked us a lot of questions, so here we are, we're gonna do a Q&A. Without further ado, let's just get into the Q&A session, shall we? Okay, we're gonna officially start now. Hi!
Okay. Hi.
Hi, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Da, and I'm a medical student in IIUM, and I'm from Sudan.
You're from Sudan. You're a Muslim, right?
Yes, I am.
Is that why you wear the headscarf?
Yes, it's because of that and because of societal pressures.
What do you mean societal pressure?
I mean, in the community that I'm in now, if I don't wear the headscarf, I'm not really counted as a Muslim.
When people say that Muslim women are oppressed because they wear the headscarf, do you agree to that statement?
I agree and I disagree depending on the context of the statement.
Right.
I agree in the sense that in a lot of societies, Muslim women are kind of forced or pressured into wearing the headscarf just for them to not be like victimized by a lot of slander or a lot of why are you doing this? You're not a good Muslim. Why are you doing that? You're not a good Muslim. Because in a lot of societies, Muslim means scarf wearer. On the flip side, I think that if you want to wear it, you should be able to wear it. If it makes you more comfortable, you should be able to wear it. If I'm having a bad hair day, I should be able to wear it.
Does the Islamic system protect you as a Muslim woman?
Yes, it does.
How can you say that?
Because in Islamic context, a lot of women are given more rights than they are in non-Islamic context. They are more appreciated. They're given less workload in the Islamic context, and they are respected and loved.
You're saying that women has more perks than men, right?
Yes.
How come?
So women have more perks in a sense that you're automatically provided for. You don't have to do heavy labor. You're not actually supposed to provide for your husband or even cook or clean. He's the one that's supposed to provide you with a clean house to live in, clean clothes to wear, and food to eat.
Do you have any Quranic reference for your statement?
Yes, it's actually agreed upon by most of the scholars, as in the major madhabs, that like Shafi'i, Maliki, and Hanbali, they're not supposed to actually cook food for anyone else. She can actually ask to be paid for the food that she cooks for her husband or even for her children, and she can ask to be paid for breastfeeding her children. It's not a job for her to do, it's the job for the father to provide that for his kids. However, in Shafi'i, they believe that if a woman marries a man that she knows cannot provide for this, he can ask her to do those things. However, she has to have agreed from the beginning of the marriage that she will do such things because he cannot provide.
How come men can simply talak to divorce a woman, but women can't? They don't have the rights.
You have the right to divorce your man.
How?
As a woman, it's actually much easier for you to divorce than to divorce a man than people think. It's for a man to divorce a woman, it's called talaq, but for a woman to divorce a man, it's called khul'. Now, khul' is actually very, very simple to do because a woman once came to the Prophet, and her entire reason for wanting to divorce her husband was ana baghidtahu, which means I just don't like him anymore.
Okay, so you're Arab, right?
Yes.
Will you be in an arranged marriage?
No, I will not.
How come?
Over my dead body, I will not.
What happens when you refuse?
Nothing happens when you refuse arranged marriage. However, well, in my case, nothing will happen. However, I understand that there is a lot of Muslim women out there that are being married off by their families, especially in Arab countries like Yemen, where people tend to have multiple kids, that they seem to think that when you have a daughter, it's easier to marry her off earlier at the ages of 8 or 9, when she hasn't even attained menarche, than to provide for her, because now her husband doesn't like will provide for her rather than you, which is extremely wrong in Islamic context, and it's not fair, because in countries like Yemen, it's very hard for you to attain khul, because you can't come in as a child in court and have people listen to you. People will not believe what you're saying because in their eyes you're a child. But the people who do go to court actually do get their khula done, and there's also sometimes a fine on the husband because you cannot marry someone who has not attained menarche.
If you were to explain this to a non-Muslim, who's at fault? Islam?
I don't think it's the fault of Islam, because I do believe that Islam as a religion is perfect in every sense. And it's supposed to be able to answer whatever question you have and challenge you to challenge it. That's the beauty of it. But I do think it's the fault of the people who are, frankly to say, ruining Islam for everyone else.
So let's say you're married and your husband wants a second wife.
If my husband wants a second wife, it is his right. However, it's very controversial because the ayah in the Quran says, وَإِن لَمْ تَعْدِلُوا وَلَنْ تَعْدِلُوا, which means وَإِن لَمْ تَعْدِلُوا وَلَنْ تَعْدِلُوا فَبِوَاحِدَةٍ, which means if you cannot be fair and you will not be fair, so just marry one. So some people interpret that as you cannot be fair as to matters of the heart and who you love more from your wives. However, you can also interpret it in the fact that you cannot be fair when you have more than one wife. So as for me, I think I will put it in my marital contract that if my husband wants to marry a second, third, or whatever wife other than me, he would have to divorce me. And that's my right to ask for in the contract of marriage.
Are you religious?
I think I'm religious, yes.
Do you sin?
Yes, I do sin. I think every religious person sins.
Let's say a non-Muslim asked you this question. You still sin. So who are you to interpret Islam as this kind of thing, like trying to defend Islam as a religion that is not violent?
Islam, again, to me, as a religion, it takes into account your humanity. It knows that you're going to sin, and it's not telling you not to sin because the moment you create or you do one small little sin or one big little sin, you cannot come back to it. We cannot go around judging people. Like, let's say I missed a couple of my prayers, I can just replace them back. I cannot go around telling people, ooh, you don't wear the scarf, you're not coming back to Islam, because I'm not one to make that decision. People need to get that into their head. The final one who can tell me if I'm going to heaven or hell, which is what we're fighting for at the end of the day, is God. And if you're not God, you don't know, and you're not God. So just be nice to people for them to be nice to you.
Why do you think that Islam has a reputation that is hated by many?
Islam has a reputation that's hated by many because it is the only religion that's actually causing chaos. For example, in the Middle East, it's very unstable, and it's known to be the religion where Islam sprouted from. In between Palestine and Israel is a heated argument of who owns the land. Because of such heated arguments, people are going and blowing up themselves in Islam and counting it for the sake of Islam, and I'm going to do this for Islam, not knowing that Islam specifically demands that you do not harm yourself or harm any other Muslim. So I think the reputation comes from those people who do not understand Islam for what it is.
If you could explain Islam briefly to a non-Muslim or someone who is Islamophobic, what would be your message?
Okay. If you're an Islamophobic, don't hate something that you... and my message or my explanation to non-Muslims would be, Islam is beautiful, and you should get to know it before you judge based on anything. As long as you're a good human, you're a good human. That's what it aims to have. And it's not much different from Christianity or Judaism. So,
why do you think the media influences a painted image of Islam in a certain way?
because the media wants a catchphrase. They want someone to come watch what they're saying. So the more absurd their news is, the more people will tune in. And it's just easier for them to taint Islam as opposed to taint Christianity or any other religion, because Islam is one of the few religions that does not have big or like multinationally known news outlets such as like the BBC or CNN. They're all based on countries that, as if they tainted any religion such as Christianity or Judaism, the base of where they're situated, people will uprise against them. But we can't really do that because we only have news places such as Al Jazeera that's known.
Thank you for answering all the questions, and sorry if I offended you.
Yeah, you haven't. You should not be offended if anyone asks you any question, to be honest. For Muslims, you should be able to defend your belief, because that's what it is. And I think that will just strengthen you. Bye.
Bye.